All right. So you ever wake up and you feel like your body is it's out of bed, but your brain is still somewhere else. Like technically you're awake, but nothing's really online yet. And meanwhile, the clock is moving, you got things to do, people to be around, and yeah, responsibilities, they're still there waiting for you. But your brain is just like, "Nah, I'm good. Not yet." So if that's you, you're not lazy. And if you have ADHD, there's actually a reason for this. So let's talk about it. This is Wild Focus. So today I want to talk about mornings. Last episode we talked about nights, so why not? Well, let's just flip that bitch and let's talk about the mornings. And for a lot of people, mornings are just part of their day. But for those with ADHD, mornings can truly feel like an uphill battle. Getting out of bed, getting moving, getting focused. It's not just hard, it's damn near impossible most days. And for me personally, I thought that it was just a me thing, a me issue. Like, oh, I'm just not a morning person and I'll never be a morning person. I love my sleep, to be honest with you. And turns out it's not just me. And there's actually science behind why mornings for those with ADHD are a little bit more different, more difficult. So let's start here, letting you know that this isn't just a discipline issue. There's actual science behind why mornings for those like me with ADHD are hard. And one of the biggest reasons is something called sleep inertia. And what that means is it's the period right after you wake up where your brain is still transitioning from sleep to full alertness. And everybody does experience this, but research shows that those with ADHD often experience it more intensely and for much longer than those who don't have ADHD. So, while for those neurotypical individuals, they might feel groggy for 10 to 15 minutes, but those with ADHD, you might feel off for 30 minutes, an hour, and sometimes longer. And no, it's not just in your head. Your brain literally hasn't fully booted up yet. And a big piece of this is a word we're all so familiar with, dopamine. So, obviously, the ADHD brains have differences in dopamine regulation. And as we know, dopamine is tied to the motivation, the focus, the energy, the initiating task. So, in the morning, when dopamine levels are already low, it makes anything for us feel harder. And that's why simple things like getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, and just simply starting your day can feel like you're trying to climb a big ass mountain. And it's a lot harder than what it honestly should be. But again, our brains are wired differently. So let's kind of dive more into like the why. And there's your internal clock. And a lot of people with ADHD have what's called a delayed circadian rhythm, which we did introduce in the last episode. But essentially, what this means is your body naturally wants to stay up later and also wake up much later. So, when you're forced into this normal, quote unquote, normal schedule, your body is up at a time that your mind isn't really ready for. So, the your delayed circadian rhythm explains why you tend to feel better at night, why you feel more focused and more like yourself in those later hours. The struggle is real in the mornings, and I can tell you that I remember growing up, and it was like more in my teen years, I would say, but I would stay up so late and it just felt normal. Like, we're talking 2 a.m. and later. Sometimes I would watch the sun come up and was fine. It just felt normal to me, and I would sleep till, like, noon, if not longer, on other days, and at that point in my life, I I just had a part-time job. I didn't go to work till, like, 4 or 5, and I worked till, like, 9 or 10, and that worked perfectly for me, but again, I thought I was just this punk-ass teenager who played in a band and loved staying out with his friends all night long playing music, but I now understand that I wasn't. I mean, well, I was a punk ass kid, let's be honest, but there was also that explanation for everything beyond that. And this is the part that I think people don't always understand, that mornings with ADHD truly aren't just hard. They feel heavy. They feel slow. Like your brain is literally stuck in neutral. And I've talked about my company Week and Wild a few times, and part of what led me to starting it and experimenting with the outdoors and how they positively affected me, my mental health, and helped to manage my ADHD symptoms. I noticed this during that time, and I was having trouble being motivated on days where I did not have my kids in the morning or days where I had off, I didn't have to work. I would stay in bed for way too freaking long scrolling or watching TV. And when I finally got out of bed, I felt like a complete piece of crap because I just had wasted so many hours in bed doing nothing productive. And again, I thought it was just me until I started to learn about my ADHD and my symptoms and how my brain actually works. And then there's the mental side of things too. The feeling of being overwhelmed because because before your day even starts, your brain tends to already think about everything, like what you have to do, what you forgot the day previously, what what you don't want to deal with. And that can make getting started feel even harder, and I can honestly tell you that I have gotten up and I've just gone right to the negative, right to the stressful things that are either in my life or that are waiting for me that day. To be honest, I have canceled things because I've woken up and said, "Yep, I don't wanna do that. I can't do that. I do not have the power or the will to do this." And it really just brings you down, and it just puts just a shit start to your day. So, if we flip it and we talk about wake up earlier, like, everyone just says, "Well, wake up earlier, give yourself more time." Yeah, I'm here to tell you that that doesn't work, and if you're like me, you're tired of getting advice from others, or you're tired of finding these different routines online from articles that you take and you try to mimic and make it your own. And it's it falls apart quite quickly. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard just wake up earlier, like just get up when your alarm goes off, which for me, by the way, I set like 3 alarms that go off 5 minutes apart from each other. That's just how I have to what I have to do to get up and actually stay awake and start mentally preparing for the day. So, though that advice of just getting up earlier and just get up when your alarm goes off, it sounds simple, but it doesn't work. It ignores how your brain, if you have ADHD, it ignores how your brain is actually wired. Because if your brain isn't ready, you're not choosing to stay in bed. You're stuck there essentially. And there are ways to actually improve your mornings that there's scientific backing to this, but also kind of live some of this. So I want to share it with everybody. So instead of forcing this perfect routine, what actually helps? And the things that we're going to cover, it's not perfect and it's not every day, but if you do it enough, it will start to make a difference. And the first thing is you need to start with dopamine and not discipline. So that's where some of those where that advice that you get kind of falls apart, especially if it's coming from a neurotypical individual, um, because they can just do it because they're disciplined to do it. Our brains are wired for that reward. So instead of just jumping into stress right away, start your morning with something your brain actually enjoys. So, music, a short video, or something just simple and easy that you tend to enjoy. I personally love playing music in the morning, and the majority of the time, it's a song that I woke up with in my head. And when I say like it's a random song, I mean it is fucking random. Just this week, I'll recap some of these songs. I had Elvis in my head. Um, yeah, I had Elvis. Mayday Parade, Jason Derulo, DeLuca Heights, like that type of thing. Like those are the songs that I wake up to, and it's fun. And I do this as I start to get ready. I get my kids up, I feed the dogs, make breakfast when I actually remember that I need to eat in the mornings. And this stuff works because research shows that reward based activation helps ADHD brains initiate tasks. So again, you're not being lazy. You just need to jumpstart your system. Now, another thing that I like to do as well is get exposure to the light early. Getting light in the morning is one of the most effective ways to wake up your brain. Sunlight will help regulate your circadian rhythm, the melatonin production, and just your overall alertness. Even 10 to 15, 20 minutes, whatever you can fit in, it can honestly make a difference. So go outside if you can, because that fresh air too really just helps jumpstart the engine. I like to drink at least like 12 ounces of water as well during this time too, because I always tend to introduce water into my system before coffee. Um, and I also use this time to take any supplements that I take in the mornings to help with any symptoms, but my overall health and wellness. Now, another thing that you can do to make your mornings just that much easier is reduce any friction and make things easier to start. So again, ADHD brains struggle with starting. So making starting easier by laying clothes out the night before, simplify your routine as much as you can. Remove any decision making that you have to do right away in the mornings. Make that at night. Now, I've started making my kids snacks at night, filling their water. I also have my son pick out his own outfit at night too. So again, in the mornings for him, it's a lot easier and we can build routine. He is a slow starter in the mornings, and we've nicknamed him Sloth. Um, and he 100% agrees. And for Christmas, we even got him one of those like it's like a Snuggie, I wanna say, but it's in the form of a sloth, and he lives in that and loves it. But I do this to build consistency in his mornings, and having his outfit already picked out, creating guidelines around not getting on his phone or technology until he's fully ready for school. Those things have also really helped him, and I also try waking him up by, like, gently rubbing his back and having a fun bit of, like, information ready for him. He loves sports, so if there's a game on the night before, I will, wake him up, give him the final score, talk about maybe a highlight that I think would interest him, and his eyes tend to, like, open up. He peeks up, and, I let him know that, "Hey, once you're fully up and ready to go, I'll show you those highlights," and, that kinda helps get him out of bed and get his day started, and if all else fails, just let the dogs in his room, and they'll just jump on him, lick him, wake him up, and it's if there's anything that kid loves more than, life itself, it's his pups. So, just things that I have done for my own son and for myself that I feel help us because every decision in the morning, it costs energy. And the less we have to do, the easier the mornings become. And one thing that I want to talk about here that I can't do to this full capacity, I've tried, it does not stick, but it's exercise. It's working out in the morning because working out in the morning is shown to increase dopamine, it improves focus and boosts energy. And I 100% agree. I just cannot do it in the mornings. I will tend to do it on my lunch break or if I'm off at some point late morning, but I to get up again earlier than what I typically need to just to work out has not helped me. But for some people, you don't need to have a full workout because, again, depending on your schedules, waking up earlier simply just does not work. If you're able to find time for just to do a short walk or stretch, that can also help wake your brain up. Any sort of movement. And again, I don't wake up early enough to even get in some sort of workout. So I will tend to do quick stretches in the morning. I'll walk the house a few times, do some fun random tasks just to get myself up and going and ready to attack first part of the day. But some other items that have helped us get up and moving is I love a cold shower. I love to do ice baths. And the ice water, man, that will jumpstart your day 100%. There's a lot of good health benefits to that as well too. It's good for your skin, good for your hair, honestly, just good overall for your nervous system. But again, if you don't like to do full on cold showers or submerge in a cold bath, then just if you are into taking showers in the morning, then aim to do 30 to like 60 seconds of cold at the end of your shower. So it's a nice little ease into it, and then you just hit yourself with that cold water towards the end, and it helps really. I have found that it really does help to bring focus to my mornings. One thing that I want you all to understand is to stop trying to be perfect. This one matters the most. So, your mornings do not have to be perfect by any means. You do not need a 5 a.m. routine. You don't need to journal or meditate, work out, or read before the sun comes up. You just need to do something that works for you. And if these things do work for you, great. Be sure to give yourself some grace, especially on those days where they don't go perfectly, because we all have those mornings where something does interrupt the day. And if you have ADHD, you tend to let that just bring you down. But if you can recognize it in the moment, take a take a few minutes. Understand that every morning does not have to be perfect. So instead of trying to be perfect, build a morning that just honestly works for you. The goal is not to copy someone else's routine. It's to build one that fits with your brain. That might look like slower starts, more flexibility, less pressure. And that's okay because once your brain is online, you can do a shit ton. Again, they always say that if you have ADHD, you have some sort of superpower, and it is true. So, if mornings have been a struggle for you, you are not alone and you're not doing it wrong. Your brain just needs a different kind of start, something that works with it and not against it. Because your brain is not broken, it just works different. All we need to do is understand that it is okay that our brains work differently. We just need to continue to learn it and use it. And I want to do this together. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. This is Wild Focus.